So I know you've seen the big heap recently being made. This is a Dalek version, which is a little bit more easier on the body. It's using allotment browns, which is dahlia stems and sweet corn stems that have been left on the ground over winter, and this is green manure, the remains after I've smothered and removed the green. The usual mix of grass and bracken, and then the lumpier browns go on top as layers to try and break up the the grass and bracken a little bit. Those bits won't be broken down in 18 days, but is aimed at helping the compost get temperature and provide a little bit of air spaces. As you can see, it's working because we are very hot, which is about where I want it. If it was a little bit less hot than that, I'll be absolutely delighted, but we can only deal with what we've got. So it's time for the first turn. The way I turn compost heaps in a Dalek is nice and easy. I take a large slice, put the Dalek back on, and then turn the remainder inside the Dalek. It's not particularly hard to do on the body. As you can see, this heap on this turn here is now showing very white in the centre, so it has got and maintained a very high temperature during most of the heap. On this particular time, I'm going to do something slightly different than what you've seen me do before in the Dalek, and that is I'm going to introduce a lot of new material. Obviously this material will have a shorter time to decompose, but it's not stuff that is going to be challenged in that manner. So what I'm doing is I'm removing all the contents, and then I'll layer these contents with the new material and refill the Dalek right up to the top. Now then, the idea of this is, because the grass rots away and compacts down so much, to get a usable amount of material at the end of this, I feel it's necessary to do this. So I am using wood shavings at this point because I've got some, so why not? And grass, of course, and I'll mix that in, and I'll mix that in with the already decomposing material right up to the top. Because you're adding a lot of browns, make sure that the water content is kept up nicely, but got to be careful because you don't want to get it too wet at this stage. So it's a matter of judging it as best you can. Layer this right up to the top with the new and old materials layered in. Obviously these new materials will only have 10 days to finish off, so they must be relatively weed seed free. So there we are. A little bit more bracken put through the lawnmower right at the end because I just ran out of browns, and why not? Right then, so at this point I sadly had a real good asthma attack, and it took me 6 days before I was physically fit enough to come down and turn the pile again. The temperature dropped right back to 30 degrees, but as you can see the centre is quite white, so it obviously has been hot enough since I last turned it. The effect of leaving it sat there for 6 days will mean that it sort of really stops the claim of an 18-day compost, really, because you haven't kept it turning. But as you can see, it's not in too bad a condition. There is little sludgy bits that have been, because they haven't been turned, they've stuck and rotted together. There we are. It's not too much of a disaster. As you can see, this material has benefited from that last turn, and it's relatively much on the way. It's looking pretty good actually. The heat is still there a little bit in the centre, not too bad. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with this. "18-day compost," which has turned to 19 because the 6-day delay I've had the pile. Slightly different ingredients, but much more manageable. Much more of a manageable load to actually do yourself. So that's why composting a Dalek, I feel, is much more achievable for the average person.